Gotta get that in. I was worried no one else was gonna do it.
How's it going,
All right.
everybody?
Hello.
I've been minding my own business.
Ooh.
Stalin, how you doing?
I'm good.
All right.
Thanks.
I should say this is mind mode.
I've been mindful of my vocabulary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been minding the gap when I get in the tube. If you know what I'm saying. Shout out to our London fans out there.
Mm.
None of that made sense to me, but that's okay.
Well, hey, maybe you'll go to London someday and it'll all click into place in the mind.
Yeah.
This is mind mode. This is Matthew is speaking. We also have two other hosts of completely equal importance.
Michael.
Stanlin.
And that's who they are.
That's my name.
So I wanted to just kick off real quack at the top here.
Quack.
That's a combination of quick and fast.
Whack, whack, whack.
Ducks are one of the quackest beings alive. I wanted to kick off at the top here with just a quick discussion of a new sort of form of an enhancement to mind mode that I've been discovering lately. So I think all of us have heard of something called muscle memory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's this notion that your muscles have their own set of memory. They have the physical body actually can contain thoughts. Is what the current science is.
Yeah.
So what I've been doing lately is I've sort of been clearing out the RAM on some of my muscles with the like movements that they've been remembering to store, ideas, profundities.
So what are you doing? You're brushing your teeth with your left hand?
Well, so basically I don't do that anymore. I have robots for that. But instead of, in the space where remembering how to brush my teeth would be, I now have addition or subtraction.
Okay.
Currently my right hand has addition, my left has subtraction.
So what happens when you try and brush your teeth now?
I'm doing all kinds of calculations.
So no teeth brushing?
No, I have robots for that.
Okay.
And they automatically do it.
So
I don't
does
have
that
to tell
mean
them
you have
anymore.
to do the physical movement of brushing your teeth in order to do addition and subtraction?
No. I'm not doing the motion anymore, I'm adding. I'm sorry, no. Stan, what's the confusion here?
Well,
I think I've pretty much explained this perfectly.
the muscle memory is toothbrushing.
Okay.
And you toothbrush to clean your teeth.
Right.
But now you're using the muscle
dispensed
memory
with
to
that.
toothbrush to do addition and subtraction.
Right, so I'm freeing up space in the brain so I can store different things up there.
But the muscles have to move to the brushing.
Yeah,
I'm just using their.
Yeah.
I'm just using the memory. I don't understand what's so difficult here. It's called
the memory
distributed.
is within the muscle.
So this is
The
called
action of the muscle.
This is something I've been
This is
calling
hard
distributed
science.
consciousness. So basically, my full body is completely dedicated to just processing commands and ideas at all times.
Matthew's a big hard drive.
I think, and there's a little bit of a lag between them. So, my foot will be working on problems all day that maybe my brain doesn't get to until the evening.
Yeah.
I think I've got, some of my gut action has sort of been dedicated to solving, some of the hard problems of computer science and physics. Been doing a lot of pondering on the nature of black holes using my left kneecap. And basically, I've been vegging out all day and fed and cared for by robots, and it's just been great for me.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I had a muscle memory tragedy.
What's that?
I stored all my childhood memories in my right big toe.
Uh-huh.
And I was walking, and I stubbed it, and they're gone.
That's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
So, what I would say is you're going to need to invest in a couple things. One is body armor.
Mm.
The body is now the mind, and you need to protect it like you would the brain.
See, the gym I go to, they have a brain machine, too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's that working?
I mean, what do you think?
The brain?
Most people at the gym are in body mode. They're using no brain.
Right.
They're not in mind mode, but you can get into mind mode at certain gyms. You put your
Right.
head. It's like one of those like old timey. I don't even think it's old timey. Like when you go to the barber shop and they got those things that just suck your head.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what they're doing.
It's like that, but 1,000 times stronger. All the bad memories get sucked out of you.
Oh, it's like an Eternal Sunshine machine.
Absolutely.
Yeah. See, my gym time has really actually increased since the body has become one with the mind for me recently. So if I'm in there, you know, getting a good pump on the biceps, that's really gonna engage the parts of my muscle memory that I've dedicated entirely to translating some Italian poetry.
Thank you.
Yes, I've got a new translation of Dante coming. My biceps have been working on it, and I think it's going to be beautiful and quite rich.
When you see my muscles twitching, like I've seen my bicep twitching, that's me solving a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
It's working overtime.
And that's what you got to be doing lately. If you're only using the mind and the brain these days, you're not in mind mode anymore. And that's just the new tech we got, and that's what we got to work with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stalin, how do you feel about this revelation? I know I haven't talked to you about this.
Are we going for like tone or for like big
You gotta go for
muscles?
size.
We're going for size.
Size.
It depends on,
Hey,
you know...
Don't trust the science every time. Who's got more processing power, the bigger computers or the smaller computers?
Yeah, think about it that way.
Bigger
In the
brain.
1960s, the computers were huge, but they could only process as much as a TI calculator could today.
Yeah, but I
Exactly.
mean, think of how toned those guys in the 60s are. They got to carry around those big machines. They're getting huge.
Yeah. It's a give and take.
Mm-hmm.
Michael, I think you said we had some emails to attend to this week.
Oh, absolutely. So,
Let's hit them up.
our loyal...
I have not seen these at all.
Oh, they're good. One of them is an email and one is a text message.
Hold up. We're letting text into the email section?
We're gonna leave. Yeah, I got a text via email.
Okay, that's fine. G-chat?
So I just want to remind our viewers out there staring at your screen or your phone and you're totally integrated with your machine, go ahead and contact us at mindmodepodcast@gmail.com.
That's your number one hyperlink of choice if you want to talk to us and be speaking with us.
So our first email is a question coming from the viewer Saxophone. The question is, when should I wear denim? What about what about colored denim? Do you think the cowboy tuxedo will be making a comeback this wedding season? So
Very interesting question.
What are your thoughts on that?
So the cowboy tuxedo, is that all denim?
I thought that was a Canadian tuxedo.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's a Canadian tuxedo.
Cowboy tuxedo.
Maybe Cowboys call it that.
Yeah, I guess it could be claimed by either or.
What are we talking about? Denim, like any denim pants?
Sounds like any denim.
What
Stalin,
would
what are
be,
your
I
feelings on
wear
denim?
jeans like daily, so
Do you sleep
So-
in them?
I sleep in them, I eat in them.
So all the time is Stalin's stance.
so
You know,
denim
people.
every
Okay,
day.
one thing about jeans,
Yeah.
people claim they're very comfortable. Maybe some jeans are very comfortable.
Uh-huh.
My jeans aren't that comfortable.
They don't breathe.
Yeah, they're not the best.
I would say
they're more comfortable than certain pants, but
Mhm.
not the most comfortable pants.
I'm not gonna lie, as far as jeans go, I've pretty much phased out the pure denim from my jeans. I'm mostly wearing some, like, you know, super
Colored.
spandexed out denim.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Colored. Colored denim, that's another question. I don't know. I can't really weigh in on that
What
one.
color?
You-
What are some good colors?
gray.
I'd say black and blue
How about beige?
Gray is good.
for me.
Tan.
I could see that. That could work.
I feel like light blue can work. The cowboy jeans.
Any blue,
Yeah.
any black, gray. But that's not the colors I think Saxophone was talking about.
I think you got to get rainbow jeans.
Yeah, maybe you want to get as many colors on there as possible.
Maybe.
That'd be a good way to trial run and see if you like colored jeans. Like, if you get all the colors on there, you're going to get to know if you like it or not much faster than if you just picked one color.
You're gonna sweat your way into fashion. Wear them while you sleep. Wear them while you run. Wear them while you're holding your children.
What about jeans colors off the visible spectrum?
Ultraviolet.
Maybe a Vanta black jean.
Maybe black hole jean. So
I think it's all possible, and it's all gonna probably work pretty well with the wedding season. To be honest,
what would a cowboy tuxedo look like?
Spurs,
boots,
hat,
ostrich suit.
Where's the denim?
Oh, crap.
You're saying you don't think denim is in this?
Maybe not.
Okay, denim Spurs. The rest can
Denim
be whatever.
Spurs, perfect.
Because that's the ultimate cowboy, device and fashion accessory.
I think that was a Bon Jovi song.
Denim
Spurs. I'm a cowboy.
Denim Spurs.
On my denim horse I ride.
So our next email is a response to our podcast from a few weeks ago about coffee and caffeine. This viewer, said,
"Thank you.
I don't drink coffee." That's it.
Huh. Well, that's a stance you can take.
Mm-hmm.
That's perfectly
valid
acceptable.
input.
I'm not a hater of people who don't drink coffee. In fact, I'm envious of them.
I'm envious.
They
kind
have
of
no attachment to this world. They're nirvana.
Yeah. I feel like
Yeah. You don't need coffee to live. I can't believe you're living, to be honest, but if that's what works for you.
The coffee.
All right. Well, I don't know what reaction you expected to get from us. I'm shocked. I think we're all kind of gobsmacked here.
Yeah,
It's
I got gobsmacked.
Hey, good for you.
I feel like I've been smacked directly in the gobs.
Well,
but here's an idea. Try some.
Yeah, give it a shot.
Get
on board.
Give it an espresso shot.
If this is a podcast designed to get you into mind mode, I have to say you need to try coffee.
I'm drinking some green tea right now. I heavily endorse tea.
Ugh. It's green?
Ew, yeah, it looks like Nickelodeon slime.
Dude, I would not eat anything green. That's disgusting, dude.
Ew, lettuce? Oh!
I can't even. I don't want to talk about this.
Sorry to bring it up. We'll edit that out.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
We might have to take a quick break, y'all.
Are we going to? Do you want to take a break?
Absolutely not. I feel like we're on a roll. So,
all right, we're not hitting the brakes. We're getting into the real stuff fast. We've heard some feedback. You guys want to get into the real business, the facts of the matter, at an accelerated rate. So we're bringing them to you. You might remember last episode we had a little bit of a chat about how we were going to watch The Godfather Part 2 after recording. Well, guess what? You're getting more of that. We're going to talk about The Godfather Part 2. This is a spoiler cast. So if you don't want to be spoiled about this movie, cut it off. Sorry.
I want to preface this with saying you should watch The Godfather 1 before you watch The Godfather 2.
That'd be probably a good idea.
You don't have to, because I didn't remember anything, basically, about The Godfather Part 1. I watched The Godfather Part 2, and I thought it was great.
Hold on. Before we really get into it, I need to correct something I said last podcast. I've been getting a lot of sneers and
some heat,
angry looks on the street. I said, I'm going to make this really quick. So I said something about time dilation. When you are, when you are close to bodies that slow or like have a lot of gravitation, like a lot of mass, I think I said time speeds up. I was incorrect. The rate of time slows down.
Interstellar.
That's okay. I said that, but then I let you guys go on with the joke. But it's fine.
Yeah, I was wrong. I wasn't allocating my memory to the rest of my body.
Doesn't that make more sense for the joke?
Because you were running away from it. But if you want to, well, whatever.
I was trying to be.
I don't know.
I was trying to be jokey smart, but I just ended up being dumb. Anyways, so on to the father.
It's not about intelligence. It's just about being in mind mode. All right, Godfather. So
wait, what happened to your rant?
I'm gonna do the rant later.
Okay.
That was my Godfather theme.
Where do we start?
Can I start with my
hit it off.
My previous opinion So last time before we started it, you guys asked me what my opinion of Francis Ford Coppola was, and I said, he's okay. Basically what I said.
Yeah.
I saw The Godfather Part 2. I'm going to move him up to good.
He's good director.
He's a good director. It was a good movie.
Yeah. I think, to start off here, I'm pretty sure we all enjoyed the movie.
I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I was going to. This is my second time seeing it.
I enjoyed it way more than I thought I was going to, because the last Coppola movie I saw was The Conversation, which was a good movie, but I think this movie was way better. So
yeah, I liked it a lot. I think it has sort of the advantage that sequels get, where you can kind of like stretch out more, that you wouldn't have had with The Godfather. I don't know. It just was allowed to be sort of slower. It had less like set piece type moments than The Godfather Part 1. We joked afterward about how like pretty much 90% of the movie is just like guys talking in rooms.
Yeah.
But that's never an issue. It's still like engaging the whole time.
Felt like it was kind of like a deconstruction of The Godfather.
Really? Yeah, I mean, it definitely is, like, one of my bigger complaints about The Godfather Part 1 was, it seems to, like, build up it glorifies the Godfather and Al Pacino's character, like, a little bit too much.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I mean, fine. I mean, it's not 100% positive, like, it's clear in the final scene, which is like, Michael has just had like his brother-in-law killed or whatever, and his wife asks him if he did it, and he says no. And you're supposed to like not feel good about Michael there, but it's still like, I feel builds up, this idea, I don't know.
Yeah, this movie, I don't remember.
And this is definitely about that crumbling.
Yeah, this is all. There is no, like, affordances given to Michael that I can think of in that movie. He's just, it's just like downward spiral.
It's him scrambling to keep everything that he's earned, essentially. I think you brought this up after we watched the movie, Stanley, that, like, he doesn't do anything in this movie to, like, advance himself, really. Right. It's purely just trying to, like, grasp at what he already had as he can see it like falling around him.
Yeah. Right. And he I think I might talk about this later in the podcast. I think the entire movie is about how he has to take up the reins or like fill his father's shoes.
Right.
And he can't.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And it's just There's some elements of the movie we have to talk about for me to like completely illustrate this point.
Where do you want to start?
I think we should talk about the flashback scenes first.
Okay, yeah. So we had very different reactions to this, I think.
I think we should go with.
I think I just had a strong reaction that you guys didn't have.
Okay. Well, how about you talk about that first? Yeah. So there's I guess I'll just preface
Stanley, wait. Stanley, what were you going to say? Sorry.
No, I was going to say we should hear what you have to say about it, because I think I felt that way to a lesser extent, but still.
Okay. Yeah. What did you want to say, Michael?
I just wanted to say
you're introing it.
All of the for our viewers, the flashback scenes are Don Corleone coming from Italy and like turning into Don Corleone.
So if you haven't seen this movie, it's Don Corleone being the Godfather, the Marlon Brando character from Godfather Part 1. Marlon Brando isn't in this movie, so it's Robert De Niro playing him as like a young man. The very beginning starts with him as a child, but then it flashes forward to I think I was reading afterwards that he's supposed to be roughly the same age as Michael, so he's like in his mid-30s or something like that. Which
he seemed way younger.
Yeah, he seemed
right. That's part of my complaint about this. Tonally, the flashback scenes are like way off from the Michael scenes. I feel like They're very sort of like whimsical in a way.
Yeah.
Like it paints this like cartoon picture of early America as just this like it's like it just seems like a playground. Like none of the like element of crime is there, but it's so just comical or not comical, but like it starts out with them doing like petty crimes, like stealing rugs and stuff that seems like they almost should have had like a second actor before Robert De Niro to play like a teenage Vito or whatever.
Vito Corleone.
Yeah. There's no. It's very. Yeah, you're right. It's very weird tonally because that Don Corleone, young has no problems like being a criminal. Which I mean, yeah. It's like runs perfectly for him. He knows exactly what to do all the time. Michael is like the complete opposite.
I almost thought that those were partially supposed to be dream sequences in a way.
Huh.
And that's kind of
that
kind
does
of
make sense.
I think that's kind of like an evasive take on it. Mm-hmm. Because I don't really think that's what Coppola was trying to communicate, but it's just I think part of it is playing with like the audiences and Michael Corleone's perception of how his father was.
That makes sense.
But I don't think that was the intent. I think that's one way of looking at the movie.
A lot of it just doesn't work for me like technically or tonally really, because it doesn't like I feel like if you wanted to show Vito coming to power. So a large portion of this movie, there's sort of like a main antagonist to Michael, Hyman Roth, who knew Don Corleone, and they clearly like sort of came up together in a way. Mm-hmm. When they were younger, they worked together a lot, and I feel like it would have been more effective to show that period of Don Corleone's life, because none of the stuff he does in the sequences we see in the flashbacks like really live up to the kind of like, I don't know, prestigious or whatever lifestyle that it sounds like he should have been leading by that point, because by the end of the flashback sequences, like all of his children are born, right? Or almost all.
Yeah. He kills what's his name? Fanucci?
Yeah.
He kills Don
God,
Fanucci, who is
guy.
That's a saving. That character's incredible. He's
really such a cartoon.
Yeah,
he's a cartoon character.
Yeah.
I didn't even really come up with this theory until like right now. Like I think it's all like a big joke.
It's like the puffed up version, the like perfect version of.
I think it's almost like an imagining of how, like Michael Corleone's imagining of how it was for his father.
That's That's an interesting.
I think that's a way to square it, but I still feel like just having that intercut with Michael falling apart.
Yeah.
It makes it look like it's just sort of trying to glorify Vito even more as like, oh look, he came up in such this like clean manner. He just knew exactly what to do.
It's very strange.
Because his life just seems so uncomplicated from what we see. Like,
he loses his job and he's like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah, it's like it kind of glorifies this version of the American dream that it's clear Coppola sort of does buy into.
Yeah.
Of like early immigrants being able to like build themselves up from the bottom to wherever their potentials could bring them. Or
there was one thing about that I was thinking about with Michael's relationship with his American wife. Because doesn't he go to Italy in the first one?
In the first movie, yeah.
And he meets an Italian woman, but then he something happens. I don't know.
What's her name?
She gets killed.
Apollina.
Apollina, I think. Apollonia. One of those.
So it seems like Coppola's playing with that, like, that there's not, like, in the later generation, you have, like, these Italian mobsters are having to integrate into, like, the American culture, and that is causing, like,
right.
stress or trouble that yeah, it wasn't there when it was all like this Italian community, which is I mean, it doesn't feel accurate. Like, but
yeah, I mean, I give Coppola has the right to be nostalgic about this sort of thing, but
I guess
it's not a.
Sorry.
It could have been stronger.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of personal pressure to put Vito Corleone in the movie for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
Yeah, so I was going to say, the reason I also feel like this clashes with the movie and sort of the conclusions we're supposed to draw from it is that I feel like, so the sort of message of The Godfather Part 1 is it's supposed to be this tragedy of Michael, essentially. Like, he was supposed to be the, like, precious, like, the, like, good child who was supposed to, like, he might have be involved in his father's affairs, but he was, like, supposed to be a senator, you know? Like, they wanted him to remain clean and sort of untouched by the criminal element directly.
Yes.
And the tragedy is that he kind of takes up the mantle and eventually, you know, he's sort of, I guess, corrupted by it and, you know, becomes who he is by the end of the movie. So, The Godfather Part 2, I feel like we're starting from that point and we just see, even though Don Corleone, like Vito, isn't in the movie, I feel like it's sort of about how he didn't prepare his sons for the roles they were going to have to take. Like,
yeah.
He, like, in the first movie, we see, like, his first son, Sonny, die, who was supposed to take over for things.
Right.
And this movie, we have Michael and... Fuck, I'm blanking. What's the other... Fredo, right. We see them kind of, like, clash, and it just becomes clear that Vito sort of didn't do his job of preparing his sons to take over for, you know, his legacy after he was gone.
It's almost like Vito was in denial that Michael was more suitable for the role than Sonny or Fredo. I mean, the one who should be the Godfather is Tom. But
yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah,
that's what's kind of funny, but he's not.
But he's not.
He's not related by blood.
Right. He's definitely the most capable and sort of
clear-headed.
Right.
It's just
It's
bizarre that the only son who like kind of made it in the straight world, because Tom has a JD, is the stepson. Like, Sonny just seemed to be like a hot-headed idiot. Fredo didn't do anything productive, and Michael like almost did, but had to come back and eventually like take the helm.
Right. So I mean, I feel like in light of the fact that the family completely falls apart, basically due to none of the brothers that are remaining living in the movie are prepared, like, it kind of transforms the tragedy of Michael from the first movie into just, like, the tragedy of Vito I don't know. So I feel like it's Vito's failure that this movie turns out the way it is. So it's weird to me that we're intercutting with the, like, perfect, idyllic, like, coming of age story that he has.
Right.
It's not. It feels like it's misunderstanding its own themes, or maybe that's just my interpretation. I don't know.
I think you're right about it would have been stronger to kind of portray maybe Vito and Hyman Roth and Tom Green like working together when they're more like entrenched in this lifestyle, and it's not as glamorous as it seems, and there are problems he has to deal with. Like, I think it skips over a lot of potentially difficult plot points. Like, Don Corleone's marriage is pretty idyllic. Like, I don't think his wife argues with him about his lifestyle or anything at any point, like in either movies.
No, not at all.
It's just kind of, I think they just yeah, they just painted this sunny picture that was supposed to be like the strongest foil for Michael Corleone. But yeah, I think it would have been a cool movie to show like, here's what Michael's going through, and Vito went through the same thing like 30 years ago. Just
like a more pivotal moment for Vito, I feel like would have been more interesting to see. As it was, I mean, I said this, and I think initially you disagreed, Michael, but like, I think the movie would be stronger if you just didn't have most of those scenes.
Yeah.
Like, you could have, I like the part where he's like a child and like arriving in America, and I think that is fine because, yeah, it sets up the fall of his family to be more of a tragedy, seeing just like the state he arrived in America in. But I don't.
I think that the Ellis Island scene that's very good. I think that's very well presented.
I also don't really think De Niro plays him well.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe that's just me. I
know
most of it is in
job.
Sicilian. Yeah, like I've read about how he spent so much time like learning the Sicilian dialogue to try to get it down, and it's like actually pretty accurate and everything. But he's just so like stone faced. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he has much of a range. I don't know. I think that also I think that types into like Vito's idealism in a sense. Like, I don't know.
It just doesn't seem like the same character to me.
There's a lot of It's not a perfect, I don't know, seamless sequence between the two movies.
Right. Do we want to talk about the stuff we do like?
No, I think there's a couple other things I want to say about this. Okay. I think, before we move on to the good stuff, I think the show The Sopranos, I don't want to give away too much, but kind of they talk about The Godfather and like imitate The Godfather a lot in The Sopranos, and I think it's kind of that analysis that we're making right now of like, the mob life isn't what you think it is. Like, it's like life isn't as glamorous and fun.
Yeah.
As much as you think it is. I don't know. It's just, I think it makes all the criticisms that The Godfather 2 could have made. So, be ready for that.
Okay.
Things that we liked about the movie.
I mean, I think Michael's story is really strong.
Al Pacino does a great job.
It's just more the thing that sets it off, like the way it happens. I think that it was just, I mean, the like firing into the windows. I don't know. I really liked that. He didn't do anything, like nothing. Right. There was no like setup or anything that he like, made someone angry.
I mean, he did. I mean, that's what it kind of boils down to, right? Is because
Family
Fredo
feud.
doesn't like the way he's been treated.
Yeah, Fredo was
Well, that's
stepped over.
I mean that him personally, like that's not Michael's fault. But like I just like that
he didn't start it, at least, right?
Yeah, and that cascade of like, these people fired at me and my family, and then like now I have to do all this stuff. It seems like none of the stuff that he was doing was really things. He never really wanted to do any of that stuff.
Right.
Like he didn't want to like.
I think
I don't know.
Godfather 2, Michael Corleone, you don't really get to see much of Godfather Michael in the first one. And I think the second one, Al Pacino does a great job communicating like everything that has been ripped away from him. Like he was gonna go. I can't remember what he was gonna do after.
The plan was like to go clean within 5 years. They wanted to like shift all their money into like gambling.
But
way
before that, in terms of like what he was gonna do before his father got shot.
Oh right.
Like,
I mean, I think he was just gonna go down the path of like becoming a like senator,
or a doctor. But then he gets involved in the family business. He murders that Casa Nostra boss and the police chief. And then he goes to Italy, and that's kind of that's like his attempt to actually like retain his ego and still like keep his person. And then his wife gets murdered, and then he has to come back and just shoulder everything because neither of his brothers are equipped. So it's just like everything was ruined for him. Like all he can do at this point is defend his father's legacy. And he exhibits that bitterness in the second Godfather very well. Like,
look, just how quiet he is. He's like, it seems like he's like steaming like most of the movie. He's just like,
definitely.
Some of the best shots in this movie are like Michael Corleone in a boathouse just by himself. That's like with no lights on. Like it's just it captures that character so well, and just even like he's so awkward around people.
Yeah.
Like he's just quiet. Truly become like a sociopath. Like he's just totally isolated himself and like shut his humanity down. Like the entire trip to Cuba, like they go to a show and he's just like wigging out because he thinks he can't. It's kind of a contrast to the Tony Soprano characters you'll see. He doesn't cheat on Kay. He's not interested in women. It doesn't seem like he's that interested in, like... I mean, he has, like, a big home, but he's not too fascinated by materialism. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
I mean, I think you're kind of right, because I think it seems like he doesn't care... Yeah, he doesn't care about, like, immediate things.
Yeah, he's not hedonistic by any means. Like, every time he comes back to the house, he doesn't ask for a drink. He'll ask for, like, a cold glass of water or, like, a towel.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, he's smarter than everyone around him, but he knows what he has to do to retain all that, and he's just miserable about it.
And it just makes him a despicable person. And it especially overflows in the scene with his wife later in the movie where he slaps her. It's just like he's just become this totally unsympathetic figure.
Yeah.
Right.
He's just as bad as like all the stereotypes would have him be. Like,
just
everything just crumbles because he's trying so desperately to cling on to what he was given.
And also just he's just got wound. He has all this like anxiety about his first son, who doesn't seem like he's going to be able to take up the family reins. Like I don't know if you've seen Godfather Part 3. His son becomes like a singer or something like that. I think I only watched like the first 20 minutes of it, but like he's not. His son is essentially Fredo. Like he's just not.
Right.
He's not going to be able to...
Can we talk about the...
Dramatic irony.
Can we talk about the scene where he finds out about Fredo and then
where he kisses him?
Well, he kisses him and he tells him...
Can I finish this point real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think he's become so... He's lost everything in his life. Like, he's lost his person, and the only way he can redeem himself is by having, like, a good son, and that's all he cares about. So when Kay reveals the abortion to him, like he's just on total lockdown. I don't know.
Right.
That's all. I just want to finish that point.
Well, I just think that the scene with Fredo is interesting because that seems like he's at his most emotional in the movie, except for the scene with his wife, I guess. But it was hard for me to understand his motivations in that scene, especially when he's like in the car afterwards and they're like running away because of the revolution, and he says he tells Fredo like,
that is supposed to be literally like the night that the revolution happens. I didn't realize it was supposed to be that significant, which is kind of goofy, but whatever.
But he tells Fredo like to come with him and that he's still his brother, but and it seemed like he was sympathetic towards him, but I wonder, is that the point that Fredo did not come with him? That he was just like...
Yeah, Fredo ran off.
Oh, but you're saying, is that the point where it flipped for him, where Michael was sure that he like had to get rid of him or whatever?
Yeah, or was he so like already so distant from him that he was just straight up lying to him. Because I feel like he was actually being sympathetic.
I think he was going to kill him anyway.
He probably... Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
He just... Yeah. I think that... Like, he doesn't recognize Fredo as, like, a real, like, physical threat. Like, he knew Fredo wasn't going to be able to do anything to him after that. It was just... That was, like, one of his last human ties was to his actual brother. And his brother participated in, like, his attempted murder. And Fredo was so dumb. Just...
I mean, he's just insecure because that's how his whole family has treated him the whole time. Like,
yeah. But...
If you're never... Like, his thing is that he was never given a chance to, like...
Yeah.
To be like Michael or like any of his other brothers. Like, even if he did have those tendencies before, like, they never... He was just treated like shit, basically.
Yeah, he was baby.
Complex.
Yeah, and I think they reveal that in one of the flashbacks, like he has pneumonia and he's being cupped or something like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think the scene the last scene between Michael and Fredo is probably the best scene in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Where Fredo just like completely snaps on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like lays out all of his insecurities basically. So one thing I will say also about this movie, compared to the last one, I feel like the climax of this movie is a lot stronger than the climax of Godfather Part 1, and they're basically the same. Like, both of the movies have this sort of set piece where multiple people are being assassinated at the same time, and it has way more impact in this movie because we've like followed those characters through the whole movie, whereas in the first one, I think I texted you guys after I saw it, like, man, the climax of Godfather really does rely on you remembering the faces of a bunch of white guys you've seen once in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. When I was watching that, I was like, I'm assuming these are the fucking mob bosses, but I don't remember.
Yeah,
all of them.
There was definitely a strong connection. Yeah.
But yeah, in this one, it's like, who gets killed? Like, Fredo, Hyman Roth, and somebody else. I can't remember.
The guy who slits his wrists.
Oh, yeah, the guy, the, like, right.
I can't remember his name.
Me either.
I think it's, yeah. I'd continue that if you wanted to say anything.
Oh, no, that was it. I just wanted to say, yeah, so I ended up preferring this one to the first one. I know that's sort of a contentious thing, and...
I think just emotionally, I prefer the first one still. Like, I couldn't watch The Godfather Part 2 just any day. It's just, it's too... It's a heavy film.
Yeah.
It's very heavy.
And they talk about that in the movie. Like, Tom brings up, like, this used to be a family. I don't know. There was just, like, so much joy in the home. And it's just... Everything falls apart.
Mm-hmm. And I guess I like it because that felt like a dangling thread from the first one. Like, it's there in the first one. Like, it's there in the final scene or whatever, where it's like... Where Michael has to lie to his wife, and he's, I don't know, about the horrible thing he's done.
Yeah.
But this movie is basically just that scene stretched out across the whole thing, like, hammering it home, like, yeah, this is bad now. I don't know.
And I think it...
Like, this is the... Yeah.
It's evident in the very last scene of the movie, which James Caan... makes a cameo in, and was...
Oh, the birthday scene. Yeah, that scene is really good, too.
James... Or I guess I'll let you say this fact. How much was James Caan paid, Matthew?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's just a story about him being difficult. Yeah, James Caan got paid as much for his one scene in the Godfather Part 2 as he did for the entire first movie.
And Marlon Brando was supposed to be paid the same amount, too, and they were going to shoot the scene with Brando, but it just... I think he just didn't show up, and they were just sick of him at that point. I think Coppola never wanted to work with Marlon Brando again.
Yeah, you didn't really need him in that scene anyway.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But that final scene, it just kind of illustrates, like, yeah, they did have a family. It's kind of just that trope of, like, oh, things were so much better in the old days, even though his father was just, like, I don't know, a criminal boss. Like, all their entire family was built on, like, other people's suffering.
Yeah, just misfortune.
But I think what's neat about the very last scene is like Vito Corleone shows up to the house. They don't show him on screen, and Michael just stays at the table.
Right.
And I think there's a lot more going on in that scene. I don't know. It's just like a really complicated, like, what is he thinking about?
It sort of plants the seed that Michael was bound to
take up the
go
reins
where he went earlier. Yeah.
It's also interesting that that entire scene they're all waiting for Don Corleone. They're waiting for him to do something. Who isn't in the movie
except in the flashback?
Which is kind of
Or also the fact that they're
ever transfer the power over.
What was I gonna say? I think he obviously resents his father and despises him, and I think that's like a defense mechanism because he knows that he's more like his father than his other two brothers. Like he knows he's gonna be screwed in the end. I don't know. That's kind of what was communicated to me.
Yeah.
And I think, okay, I'll say one more thing about the flashback scene. So,
go for it.
One of the guys they meet up with was there's Clemenza and Tessio. Mm-hmm. And Tessio's in The Godfather 1, and he's also in that flashback scene at the end of The Godfather 2, but it's just kind of it's just like another sad element. I think that's kind of the tie between like Michael and Fredo is that, Tessio eventually betrays Don Corleone.
Right, he was the one who betrays him.
It's this friendship he's had for like decades.
There's also, sorry, I just thought of something. There's in the scene where they're waiting for Don Corleone for the birthday, Michael says that he's going to the army, and he says that it's for his country or whatever. I was just thinking that's similar to like that he married an American. Like it seems like his allegiance is like split or something between cultures.
I think and I think he also, part of it kind of is like a deconstruction of American values because he really believed in the system. Like he really believed he was going to be able to rise through the ranks honestly. And I don't know, that's kind of revealed in like all of the court scenes. Like he still portrays that image that he's just like a loving father and cares about his family, but he's just like
he wants his name cleared.
Yeah, he's just a despicable human being. I don't know. Good movie.
Good movie. Hey, Mind Mode review of The Godfather Part 2. Good movie.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
I still can't get over how, like, the scene that sticks out to me the most is, like, Michael in Cuba at, like, that party scene. Like, right before the revolution happens, there's, like, a dance going on. Right. And, like, some woman, like, comes up to him and starts flirting with him, and he just, like, totally ignores her. Like, he's
so one-minded.
He's just emotionally shut down. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all want to move on to... Also, follow that up with watch The Sopranos, because
that is an interesting, like, foil to Michael as Tony Soprano, because he's...
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah.
Also, I also want to say there's a lot of... I feel like people who... It's kind of funny, like, two of the most glorified crime bosses are both played by Al Pacino, like Michael Corleone and Scarface, Tony Montana. And both of those characters are just incredibly flawed, entirely...
tragic,
Like, they don't have good endings. Like, they're so self-destructive, and I don't know. It's just kind of funny that Al Pacino got to be both of those.
Right.
Like, people talk... There's all this, like, bravado about, like, oh, Michael Corleone over here or something like that. I'm like, yeah, that dude was miserable. Like, there's nothing cool about him. I don't know.
I mean, I think that's supposed to be the irony in The Sopranos of them, like, loving The Godfather and all that, is that they're, like, missing the point or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And The Sopranos does a really good job with that. There's also... there's an Italian gangster film called Camorra that I watched a few years ago. That's kind of like an anti-Godfather film. It's Italian. It's cool.
What do you mean anti-Godfather?
Check that out.
It's like it peels back like how non-glamorous and disgusting like the actual mob is in Italy. I think it's like a deconstruction of like that fantastical view of like Italian gangster culture.
All
right. We want to move on to the next segment?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So, before, I guess the next thing logically would be recommendations, but I just want to follow up on the very first episode of Mind Mode. I asked you guys a question. I asked,
Cutting corners.
is it okay to eat ice cream every day?
Yeah.
You remember what you guys said?
Yes.
Yes.
No, you said no.
I said yes.
Both of you said no.
Sorry.
Well, I just want to say, in the meantime, I saw this tweet from at Gaines Tweets, who is a bodybuilder, and he says, you can eat ice cream every day and still be jacked / healthy / whatever. I just want to say I've never contacted this person. Don't think they've listened to the podcast, but that's Gaines Tweets. You know, just the name alone should sell it to you. That's the official stance.
Right,
so
I'm just going to say that I said you can eat it every day.
Okay, well, that wasn't the message I took in my heart.
Absolutely not.
All right, so we still got a little controversy.
Hard stance against ice cream.
Boom. Fine. Whatever. I'm gonna eat ice cream later. Probably cake too. Who knows?
Oh, we went to this, me and my family went to this cookie dough. They made this place that serves cookie dough instead of ice cream. They scoops of cookie dough.
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
Sounds good.
It's too much of a good thing. Anyway.
Yeah, I can get that.
Always a bad thing.
So, Stalen's recommendation for the week, don't eat cookie dough.
Don't recommend it.
You guys have stuff to recommend, or?
Well, I don't know if it's a recommendation. I can just tell you what I saw, which was Interstellar, which was good. I liked it.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't, great. There was a lot of problems with it, but like most Christopher Nolan movies, I'm always okay. I'm usually down for them. They're fun.
I just felt it was sort of
a lot of it was cheesy,
emotionally weak. It wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was so corny. Dumb. What if love beats science?
Yeah.
It was
what was the movie? I feel like there was another movie that was basically Interstellar, but way better in the next year or so.
Gravity.
What was it? No, God.
Arrival?
Yes, maybe.
Oh.
Arrival's great.
Was it?
Arrival wasn't like Interstellar.
Was that what I was thinking of? I can't remember. Anyway, forget it.
It was. You don't have to watch it, but if you do,
I mean, it's a good movie as far as the visuals and everything.
Visuals sounds good.
It's a fun ride.
Yeah.
I just think it. Maybe it was Arrival. Anyway.
Okay.
It's a fun ride. Fun ride. Dumb theme. I think Chris Nolan movies have been getting better.
Okay.
I like frickin' Dunkirk more than Inception.
Yeah. It's probably a better movie. Still emotionally
he's become more of a visual director. Yeah, I think he just needs to get I think he needs to get rid of trying to say anything and just make a mood piece. I'm not kidding.
He should make
Just make a.
Well, I don't think Interstellar was even trying
movie.
that hard. Mostly it was the science stuff was cool. I just thought it was a lot of fun pop science. Visual
that
stuff
is fun. He played to some of his strengths there as far as just the having a sort of mechanical novelty that drove the movie in this case being the whole time gravity thing.
The ghost. I mean it's textbook Nolan, but I don't know.
Have you seen The Martian?
No.
Oh.
My mom has seen that movie 30 times. She watches it every time it's on TV.
It's all right. It's good. I liked it the first time I saw
Here,
it.
this section is movies that are okay. Not recommendations.
Okay.
Definitely not recommendations, but all right.
You might be okay with watching these.
I don't know. I think there's a type of character in science fiction movies where it's oh, here's the the MIT genius scientist. It's also like so I don't know, has like likes cartoons. Like he's so relatable. He's just like you know. I feel like that character wasn't in Interstellar.
Yeah, it was Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, but I at least like that character. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
He was like a farmer or something.
Okay, I guess I don't know what you mean. I thought you just meant like a scientist that is like.
If y'all haven't seen The Martian, then I can't even really. I know what you're talking about. The type of like science that's supposed to like dazzle the audience, like the Aaron Sorkin version of science. You know?
Aaron Sorkin, yeah.
Aaron Sorkin, Corn.
Yeah.
What do I? Aaron Sorkin.
Sorkin. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorkin.
All right, Michael, do you have a recommendation? Or did you already give one? I can't even remember.
I bought a bottle of sriracha.
Boom.
Like 2 weeks ago. Buy your own sriracha. It's really good. Make your own food.
Buy your own.
Hey, I'm starting to figure out most of the food you can make is better than what you eat in restaurants.
Yes, very true.
It's true.
Don't
give it a shot.
Don't let them trick you. You can do better.
They really dressed it up. They really.
Hey, I don't know if this is a restaurant already or a chain, but I'm originally from New Jersey. Some people call me Mike. I'm thinking of making. I might make like peanut butter sandwiches, peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
Maybe like
Simple.
some like bread and jelly sandwiches.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it New Jersey Mike's.
Sounds good. Sounds wonderful. I think you've got something there. You've really tapped the market.
Yeah.
Okay, my recommendation is going to be a movie I watched last night called First Reformed, by Paul Schrader. It's interesting because it takes on some themes that I feel like I haven't seen a lot of movies about recently. It's mainly about like spirituality and like global warming, like environmentalism. It's about this priest who like lives in Albany. He's like a Protestant preacher at this like this church that's been there for like 250 years or whatever. And it's just about this encounter he has with like an environmentalist that makes him just question like humans' relationship to God, and like he has to confront like the fact that his church is funded by this bigger church that's funded by like energy companies and all this stuff, and it's just about like how complicit we are in capital and ruining the world, and it's really interesting.
That sounds cool.
I don't know if it comes to the same conclusion I would have come to, but I'm glad it was asking the question.
Paul Schrader directed Mishima, A Life in 4 Chapters.
Yeah.
That movie is really good.
I haven't seen that one yet, but
okay.
All right.
Good movie.
All right, so I think that's it.
So remember, start storing stuff in the muscle memory. Stop moving.
Don't waste your muscles on lifting things.
Yeah.
No.
Become a big brain.
Agree to disagree.
By the time you finish this podcast, you should just be a brain with arms and legs.
What, just get rid of the torso?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Forget the other
organs.
Sounds good. All right, so we will see y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye. We're back on the beam, baby.